You know, to the person on the outside, you would think finishing a mission where not only did you get the information, but you also retrieved prisoners and you didn't get smoked, that maybe, just maybe, you might want to actually get some time off. But no, no, it falls on the same premise of the more land you take, the more land you have to take. It's just the way it is. For those who've never been in the service as before, you just don't understand this. You would think, I've done a good job. I need a bonus and a vacation. Nope, for those that are in any type of warfare, as soon as you succeed on a mission, there's another mission. If you failed on the mission, that's when people pause. I know, it seems counterintuitive, and it is. But that is the way it is. That's just the way humans are. Now, I wouldn't be sent on this mission if it wasn't for something that just happened to go off towards the end of the last mission. As they were reviewing the videos from everyone, I was out having some lunch. I was starving. Come to find out, there's something about going through that little portal doohickey that they have that really makes your metabolism spike. Not to mention, whatever in the hell they did to us that makes me look kind of younger. I don't know what the hell it is. I mean, I can hazard a guess. But for some reason, my body is starving. I mean, I haven't been this hungry after a 3-hour workout. Regardless of that, I was approached by a security team, and they simply said, "You're needed." I looked at him and with a mouthful of food, held up my finger just to let him know, give me a second. And as soon as I swallowed, I just looked at him and said, "Look, you're going to let me finish this." "No, you're needed now. Get up." I simply looked at both of them and kind of laughed. There's not enough of you to get me to move. And when one of them put his hand on my shoulder, I elbowed him right in the nuts. That made him think twice. Dropped him straight to the ground, and the other one just kind of looked, and I went right back to doing what I was doing. I finished eating another set of meals, actually, because I was just that short on calories. And then I simply followed him. "Okay, who needs to see me?" Still covering his groin, he said, "The director needs to see you." "Oh, yeah, him. Great." Eventually, we ended up in the director's office where he had a video up and running. Cursing out the guards, asking him why it took so long, I simply held up my hand as they went to talk and said, "Look, I had to finish eating, or else I wouldn't be standing here. I would have passed out from lack of nutrition. So you want to yell at someone? Yell at me." The guards kind of looked at me weird, but this is what military guys do. We cover each other when need be, and we always use the truth. Regardless of that, eventually, the guards were allowed to leave, and I sat down with the director. He sped up through the entire mission itself and then came to one simple area. It was where our supposed adversary stood there and stared at me. He had paused the video right at that point. "You want to explain this?" "What's there to explain? It was there. We just raided their place. I'm just glad he didn't shoot me." "That's not really what they do, but they don't do this. They don't look at you. They don't allow you to leave. Do you know what he was doing?" "I don't know, sizing me up because he thought I was sexy or something." You want to get to the fucking point, because I really don't have time for this, okay? I have been awake for about 3 days now. I just finished food and I'm about to go into a food coma for the next 4 or 5 days. So please get to the point. He was clearly agitated before continuing. "What he was trying to do, if you will calm your jets for a moment, is simply look into your mind. This was a psionic attack." What? You want to just speak in regular terms here? He was trying to read your mind. Well, he didn't get much. I guarantee there's not much in there, except a couple of loose screws, as I shook my head. "Not funny. You need to understand that this is one of the reasons why we called on you." "Okay, you want to give me a reason why?" "You're not affected. And I shouldn't be." Again, spill. I know you guys are all about asking questions and want us to talk, but how about you spend a little information my way? You've already been debriefed, but we need to know, are you feeling ill, dizzy, or anything of that nature? How were you able to fight off the effects? Because I don't know what effects there are. You want to explain to me a little bit more what the hell you're talking about? The director paused, seemingly contemplating his next move. The one across looks forward and just waits. I can tell you, but I will let you know that nothing I say leaves this room. Do you understand? If anything leaves this room, yeah, I know. They'll find me in pieces somewhere. My heart is in San Francisco, and you go after my bloodline, and yada, 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 yada. Yes, I've heard it all before. You don't think I've worked with spec ops before? You don't think I've worked with people that don't exist? Maybe you should update your files. So, spill. A little perturbed. All right, but only because you'll find out the reason why I'm not having you taken out and shot right now. Bringing up a certain picture. This is what we've been using to create our psionic warriors. Those that can resist any type of psionic and psychic attack. As you can see, we've had limited success. The video shows several of them start seizing out and vomiting violently, many of them thrashing so much that their joints and bones begin to crack and pop. Others simply stop. Stop breathing, stop moving, stop everything, as medical technicians try desperately to get the heart started again. There's a little bit of a shimmer inside the screen. It's almost as though a shimmer from a few of them. Okay, that's disturbing. What am I looking at? And what's with the shimmer? Ah, so you saw it. Of course I saw it. That is the psionic release. Every single one of these candidates has... Don't bullshit me. Those aren't candidates. Those are kidnapped kids. You sick fuck. It is for the greater good. Listen, okay, we're just going to bypass the primrose path of everything in the world that has been the most disgusting things ever have been done for the greater good. So don't feed me that line of BS. Just say it. Fine. I will be direct. The fact that we have had so many of our people get captured, and the reason we have not been able to take anything but a stalemate so far, is one, the empathy of the other side, and two, because we cannot withstand their psychic attacks. We've tried everything, and the only thing that seems to work is a tinfoil hat of all things. Tinfoil, oh boy. Well, as it turns out, there are people who are able to resist it, and you just happen to be one of those people. You can naturally do so. We don't know why or how, but you are. And because of that, we can't allow you to leave. You are too important. As a weapon, yes, I get it. I've always been a weapon. The U.S. military looked at me as a weapon system too. You think I'm not used to that? The director seemed to grin a little bit at this. Well, then that simplifies things, doesn't it? We need you to go in and get us a piece of technology, something that will aid us significantly in our endeavors. And it must still be functioning. And only those that have a psionic abilities are going to be able to do this. All right? What's the job? Deliberately slinging my voice like that just to show that I believe that this is more of a mafia than a government installation. The job is simple. You'll be sent in behind the lines, and you will steal one of their ships. Okay, and I'm supposed to just pilot something when I don't know how to fly. I wasn't born with wings. We will give you as much information as we can to make sure that you can complete this mission. Okay. Do you have any other questions? Yeah, just one. How much do I get paid for this job? Later on, we're walking along and I see a captured ship. It is almost identical to the one I saw before, this strange triangular shape. But it wasn't just one. They had dozens of them. I couldn't help but think, why in the hell do they need more of them? And I got close and I saw that some of them were damaged. Welding marks. Looks like part of it was patched up. Looked like bullet holes had gone through this thing. Other ones, it looked like the base had just been crushed in. It was strange. Why in the ever-loving crap do we need to worry about that? And it hit me. We shot this thing with electromagnetics. Somehow we had shorted it out and it had crashed. The one that we had faced before, the previous mission, it just dropped out of the sky from about 60 or 70 feet up. It just went splat. I thought it was a malfunction or something, but it turns out, no, we had actually shot it down. But since we hadn't retrieved it, it's of no use to us. Or no use to them. I was briefed on everything, the internal components, how everything operates. But they needed someone with my abilities because I can't be tracked. Those without the abilities, turns out that they are easily located. It's almost like they have a mental radar. It just pings, and they can find anyone without this. After about 3 days of training, pretty much nonstop, I was constantly enforced on how important it was and that time was of the essence. I got ready to go, and I asked, "Where's my team?" "This will be a solo op." "Oh, wonderful." I simply looked at him before leaving and go, "You better give me my retrieval beacon." "You're not going to need it." "It's not a one-way trip, asshole. Retrieval beacon. Hand it over." They looked at me, a bit confused, and I looked at them too, and eventually they handed it to me and I put it in my pouch. Getting ready for the jump, I watched as the whole space opened up again. It suddenly reminded me of something. The only time in all of cinema they have shown what fourth dimensional space is like. Monsters, Inc. That really bad children's movie. That's fourth dimensional space. This is how they're doing it. Why didn't I think of this before? Well, I'm not a physicist, even though I understand my basic physics. Walking through, I'm immediately in the same type of area. But this time, I'm a lot closer. So much so that it only takes me about 2 minutes to get towards their version of a fence. I looked, and the fence was a strange type of electromagnetic forces that were holding different poles up. I figured, well, if I end up going through, they're going to send off some sort of alarm. So what can I do? Looking around, I realized that there's a lot of trees in this area, and I brought my ropes. Okay, let's do this. Climbing up was not easy, especially considering I didn't have much climbing gear. I simply had to wrap one of the parachute cords around, and hopefully that would be enough. As I immediately tried to scamper up the tree as best I could, I realized that the branches were going to be in the way, so I had to ditch that whole idea and simply climb the old-fashioned way, hoping I wouldn't slip. The big branches were slick and smooth around. I worried that if one slipped, I'm going down, and I'm going down hard. No good PLF is going to protect me here. Eventually finding one of the large branches that reaches over the fence. I remember seeing this in a show one time. Hoped it worked. Immediately, I wrapped it around the tree, dropped the cord down the rest of the way, got my carabiner out, strapped it onto my belt, flipped it around my leg, and down I went, zipping down as fast as I could. The burning sensation on my leg as the cord started to cut through my pants and also cut through my gloves was excruciating. By the time I landed, I could actually smell smoke, and immediately got myself unhooked. Looking, it had actually cut through my pants and began to burn my skin. No wonder it hurt so much. Scurrying through the night, I went back to the original building, but this time I didn't go into the one we went in before. I went into the one where I saw that thing raise itself. Moving from building to building, I tried to make sure I wasn't spotted. I was sure there was cameras out, but I was just hoping that somebody was asleep. Back and forth, and I finally found one of the hangars. I stuck my nose in just for a second. Empty. Shit. Didn't say anything as I scurried around to find another hangar. Empty. Son of a bitch. Trying to dodge a patrol as I went to the third hangar. Looking inside. Empty. Oh, somebody cut me a break. Scurrying to the next one. I only got 2 more to go. Jackpot. Found it. I looked around. I couldn't see anyone around. No patrols. They must sleep at night like we do. Going towards the door, I realized that I needed some sort of relay to get in. Something that would actually allow me to open it. Going through my little bag of tricks, I found what they said was going to open the doors. They told me to simply hold it up and it would dial everything for me. Boy, I hope this is plug and play. Holding it up, I pressed the button like they told me. Beep, 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 beep. Ding! Okay, maybe they like dings too. The door seemed to open, not sliding, but seemed to almost dissolve away. It was creepy. No type of shimmering or anything like that, just dissolve away. I immediately put everything away and I scurried towards the aircraft. I looked up and found the hatch. Damn it, it's sealed. There's no way in. This thing, I rubbed my hand against it. It's seamless. There's nothing here. There's no bolts. There's no welds. What the ever-loving crap? This thing is floating, and it just looks like one solid hunk of metal. How do they do this? I went to where the hatch should be. I raised my hand up to it, and I did what they told me to. Focus on the door opening. The door just seemed to disappear, and a strange light came out, and suddenly I'm up in the air. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Okay, what's going on? As I'm inside, the door closed, and I just ended up on the ground. With a fairly loud thunk, I ended up on my knees. I went to the command module, which was right in the center. No place to sit in these things, not really. There was a chair, but it was much, much too small. Well, gotta make do, I guess. Reaching up as much as I could, trying to figure out what in the hell was going on. I had to punch in a certain code, but I couldn't read the numbers. Pulling out the paper they gave me, I punched in the numbers, and immediately it came to life. They showed me where I would be able to program it to move, and I followed the instructions as best as I could. And as I got about halfway through, it seemed like the walls dissolved. I could see around. And as I looked, I could see some of those alien creatures running in, looking at the machine, almost confused, as though they were trying to figure out why it was opening, why it was starting, why it was doing anything. It should be stagnant right now. They tried to go to the door, but I simply stood on top of it. Seems to be a safety feature. It wouldn't open up. They couldn't figure out why, and I tried to reach over as best I could while keeping one foot on the door as I continued to push buttons in the same sequence. It was strange. I couldn't feel it move, but I could see that I was moving. I was raising up a little higher and then moving forward. I left through the door, which was surprisingly suddenly there. Seriously, how are they doing this? I know my basic physics, but what in the ever-loving crap is going on? The craft then went through the door and then shot up so fast I thought I was going to crush my feet into my brain. But I didn't feel anything. There was no inertia to it. I simply left extremely fast. I couldn't believe it. The ground just seemed to disappear farther and farther away. I was up over 10,000 feet before I even knew it, and suddenly I'm outside the atmosphere looking down at a planet that was fairly similar to Earth. A few more extra colors, but fairly similar. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, and then suddenly it began to tip and roll and spin, and then all of a sudden there was a flash. What the hell was going on? I couldn't see outside. They told me this would take a while. Somehow, I was going across the stars. How in the ever-loving crap am I doing this? I know I punched in a code, but is this truly all automated? Boy, I hope so. Last thing I need is to go through a star. And then suddenly, I was back in real-time space. I could see Earth. And then suddenly, the ship itself seemed to drift. Oh crap. Oh crap. What just happened? What just happened? What the shit? Okay. Retrieval beacon. Where's my retrieval beacon? You son of a bitch. Got it. Retrieval beacon activated. Nothing. Oh, shit stains. Crap. What do I do? Running over to the command chair, I tried to reach up for any type of controls. It took me a little bit to actually find where the pitch and yaw actually was, along with any type of throttle. Boy, they have a funky way of doing this. Making sure I was working on manual, I was able to adjust the ship and bring it down at a fairly decent speed, but it was completely controlled. As I began to descend, I saw something I wasn't expecting. As I started to get close below 10,000 feet, I saw a pair of F-22s come and approach. I could see them. I'm sure they couldn't see through there, or else they would have waved at me, because I did wave at them and no response. They just seemed to be looking at me, turned in a way that their cockpits could look down on me and also have their cameras on. Oh crap, now what? Shit. All of a sudden my radio crackled to life. Yeah, I'm here. Tell me what I gotta do. And immediately they relayed any type of instruction I needed to do. After pressing a few buttons, I was gone again. This time, I moved seemingly over the center of the continent in just a few moments. This was freaky, but immediately what I saw gave me pause. I saw the base they had brought us to, but now I had a reference on where it was. Are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding. We're here? And with that, the radio came to life again and told me also specific instructions on what to do. Punching in the next group of symbols, down we went, into the base, and it seemed to stop. I walked over, pressing another group of symbols like they told me to. Here I was in the hangar that I saw before with all the other models, all the other ones. How in the ever-loving crap did this happen? As I went to the door, it seemed to fade away under my feet, but the light itself came out and lowered me slowly to the ground. It only took a few seconds, but there I was on the ground, not in pain at all. As I stepped away, the light faded and the door went back into place. I looked over and everyone was cheering. I was like, okay, this is weird. The director walked up and congratulated me on a job well done. Okay, you want to tell me why you guys couldn't do that? We will talk in my office. Eventually, we got back to his office as I pulled off some of the gear. I'm like, okay, tell me how you guys couldn't pull that off. I'm an amateur when it comes to this. I've worked with people that don't exist, and they do this for a living. So, you want to tell me why they couldn't? I mean, seriously, with all that anti-detection stuff you were talking about, why couldn't they get to it? Oh, they could get to it. The problem is, it reads psionic energy. Without that, it doesn't fly. So, basically, it thought I was one of them. Yes. Ah. Well, that's interesting. You know what? After this, I do want to take a vacation. So, you mind dropping all that stuff in my account? Certainly. But do not be surprised if we call you soon. What? For another case of Grand Theft Spaceship?